by throwing the treat off behind Gael to get her away, so that when she does come back, the mat will be down and I'll be ready to reinforce her with a treat. So I'm just going to throw this over there, and pop this down. Yep. So as soon as her foot goes on the mat, or if she touches it or sniffs it, yep, then I'll throw a treat behind her, yep, so she can come back and reset and stand on the mat, yep. So I'm aiming to do it as soon as her foot goes on it, yep. Good girl. Yep. 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 Good girl. Okay, and then pick it up when we're finished. And then once you've got the dog regularly coming and putting a paw on the mat, then we're waiting for them to come and stand with their whole body on the mat. So we'll start that now. So I'm going to throw one away again for her. Put this down. She's going to try a few things now. Actually, I'm just going to make it a bit bigger because it's a bit tricky for her to get her whole body on there. Yep. Good girl. Yep. Good girl. Yep. Good girl. Okay, so Gael is trained, obviously, so she knows that if she goes on the mat and lies down, that's what I'm looking for. So that's why she might have been lying down on there to start with, but that will come. If your dog does that naturally, then that's great. Wait for him to do that and reinforce him, but normally they don't. So normally we're just waiting for her to come and stand on the mat in front of us. And as soon as all four paws are on there, then we'll click and treat. After that, we're going to wait for either a sit or a down, depending on which they do naturally. But it also depends how long you're waiting for that. So if the dog's coming and standing on the mat and looking at you and not really making any effort to sort of sit or lie down, because you kind of have to go through a bit of a frustration burst where they're frustrated that just standing on the mat isn't doing anything. And so there you might see Gael try different things. So she tried a bow and various bits. And your dog will probably do that, and that's what we want. And we want them to do a sit or a down. But if it's taking too long for them to work that out, then just throw another treat behind them. Oh, sorry, there you go. And give them another go. So you probably don't wait any longer than sort of about 5 or 6 seconds before throwing again. And if they're not lying down or sitting naturally while you wait for them, then I would just tell them to sit or down, so that you're doing a lip lick. Good girl. So that they know what you want. Okay, so I'm going to throw one away, put the mat down. Go, and I'm going to wait for a sit or a down, which she will do because she knows that's what I'm after. That's very nice, but it's not what I'm after. Okay, so she's not going straight into it, so I'm just going to say to her, lie down. Good girl. And give her a mat on there. And once we've got them lying down, which is where we want, then I feed them a few times on the mat and say, good girl, good girl. There's no cue for this because the mat is the cue. So the mat being out is the cue that you want them to lie on it. So I'm going to give her a few of those. And then send one behind her again. And then get her to come and lie on it again. Good girl. Which she did almost straight away because she's been taught this before. So it obviously will be a bit longer with dogs that don't know this behaviour. Good girl. That's very good. Good girl. Brilliant. Then once they're lying down happily on the mat, as she is, that's when we're going to start looking for more relaxed behaviours. So we're going to look for her probably shifting weight to one hip, or putting her head down like that, which is good. Anything that shows she's starting just to relax a little bit, except she's doing that because she knows that putting her head down is something she gets reinforced for. But I'm not going to keep her waiting and trying lots of different things. We're going to keep the treats coming. But what I'm looking for next with her is for her to roll over onto one hip, or look a little bit more relaxed. Because ideally the mat should be somewhere where we teach them to relax. Good girl. Good dog. If they start offering you lots of behaviours, you can always just look away so that you're not reinforcing it or giving them any reason to think that they need to keep trying different things. If they're not doing anything, just keep the treats coming while they're on the mat every so often, so that they're still getting something and they don't get completely bored and just walk off. Good girl. It's nice. Good girl. If they do sit up or stand up, just ignore it. She's almost gone over on one hip now, which is good. So I'm going to give her another treat. Treats always go in between their paws while they're on the mat. If they do stand up and walk off, or start trying different things and get up, just ignore it. But if they get up and walk off completely and lose interest, then pick the mat up and try again a bit later, and aim to finish a bit sooner, because if they're getting up and walking off, then they're probably just bored. And we want the mat to be a special thing where they know they can earn treats just by being on it and relaxing. Good girl. So she's starting to look a bit calmer now, a bit more settled. There, did you see there? She's slightly rolled on one hip. That's the sort of thing we're looking for. So she's getting a bit more comfy and a bit more obvious that she's going to settle a bit longer. She did there again very slightly. Don't need to say anything again. If they do get up like that, just look away. Don't reinforce it. Don't say anything. And if you do get to a standoff like that, just go and treat behind them again to reset. Good girl. Brilliant. Good dog. And the reason she did that is because for her I wasn't giving treats often enough, because she was trying something else. So if that does happen again, then it's a sign that you need to start giving treats a bit more frequently. But over time you will be able to decrease the amount of treats they have while they're on the mat. There, she rolled over onto her hip a little bit again then, so that's good. We'll wait for that again. Good girl. Oh, nice. Good girl. There, good girlie. And when you finish, just throw a treat behind and pick up the mat. Perfect. Good girl. Well done. Good girl, you're so good. Such a good girl. Yes, you are. Such a good girl.